Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Usually Fixing and Tinkering as we make our way towards Christmas. And this is my next episode in the update of Project Ruby and her engine rebuild. It is all going very slowly, methodically. Is that what they say? And I will share with you a few things that I am currently doing and things that I have done. So straight away we go to the workbench over there. As you can see, guys, you can see how busy I have been. I have been stripping this head of every single goddamn component, and it is ready for skimming, which will be done imminently. So the next time you see this cylinder head, it will have been skimmed all the way down. All the ports have been cleaned out, every single one of them. And as you can see on this side, wow, what a transformation, just by degreasing with some petrol, acetone, a few other things that I really shouldn't be touching too much of. The valve seats, I'm going to ask my shop what he recommends for these. They're not the worst, so it's possible that they could be going in for recutting, which will be the best option really, or potentially they'll just be left as they are. But as it is, it's a good head. It's a really good head. I've just been sorting all my bits and pieces out, cleaning things and replacing fixings. I'm going to keep this temperature sensor. I've just cleaned this up, and the oil pressure sender. Just crankshaft pulley's had a bit of a repaint and a few things like tapping bolts and that sort of thing. The old camshaft is there, but it will be replaced with a new one, and those are the only two valves I've not thrown away. They're just an example of one exhaust and one inlet, just to compare to the new ones. All the pistons have been cleaned, stripped of their bearings, and it's looking rather good. Look at these. And the amount of carbon that was stuck in here, I'll tell you something, those piston rings, the control rings, they were stuck. That might be a cause of my burning. Some of them did move, one or two of them were really, really stiff and had to put a lot of movement with my finger to push it round. So the carbon deposits you must clean behind there. I know one story where somebody didn't clean the carbon deposits behind their piston, put new rings on, and they couldn't turn the engine over because it was so tight, because the carbon had pushed the ring out, and effectively, yeah, that would have caused a lot of heat and wear. But I've just cleaned all in there and all down the rod, and they're all ready to go, these. We can actually see where the valves come very close to the cylinder head. The amount of coke on these pistons and the amount of coke on them valves, all of them would have brought the valves and the pistons very close together. In fact, it would actually increase the combustion. The amount of carbon sitting on top of it effectively makes the space more narrow. So that's something to be sure. I have noticed these minor score marks on a couple of the pistons, just minorly, and they do match with what I've seen in the cylinders. So I am going to, I have checked for roundness, and we're okay, we're in tolerance, no problems there with a micrometer. You must use a micrometer and check it for roundness. I've got all the valves in different bags with yeah, number 4 inlet. You know, you've got to bag all this up and just keep it really, really organised here, because, you know, otherwise it could go all over the place. But overall, this head is ready. But we're going to cut to the most important job, and that is outside, and I'll explain what I've been doing. Oh, yes. Ruby's here. I'll just whip this off just to give us a bit more light. Yay. And what is she having doing? Well, as you can see here, this, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what this is a cylinder honing tool. Yes, no, it's not actually. It's called a honing tool, and it does a sort of honing job, but it's nowhere near as good as the professional honing machines, okay, at a machine shop. there's a couple of different reasons for this, and I'll explain this in a second. I'm just going to prop this. The stones are not. These are medium grit stones, and their job is to get rid of this glaze out of these cylinders. We're fitting new rings. To fit new rings and to do it properly, to get good oil retention in the cylinders, to lubricate the cylinders, and to make sure you get decent compression. I mean, to be honest, compared with what we've been running on, it's going to be an improvement in any short sight of the imagination. But if I bring you in here, why have I wrapped film down there? Oh yes, as you can see, I have been deglazing my cylinder. These three haven't. This one hasn't at the moment. I've just stuffed it to stop swarf going anywhere. In fact, there was very little that came out, so that's a good thing. And I'll explain why I've done that in a second. Now, the original cylinders have got their homing marks. It's a crosshatch. It's like you'll see the lines go in like that pattern, okay? That's a crosshatch. It's a 45-degree pattern that we see these homing marks make, okay? That was done in the factory, okay? That was done in the factory using a proper honing machine. Now, with this tool here, you are not going to get 45 degrees. Why is 45 degrees important? It's a known fact in engine building, 45 degrees gets the proper oil retention and the most efficiency when it comes to compression with the rings into the bores. Because remember, we're making sure that the rings are actually scoring themselves to that cylinder, okay? And we want to make sure that it's properly lubricated. Because these crosshatch lines, well, what do? They hold oil. They hold engine oil from the sump that goes all the way up. Now, the oil control rings stop that oil going into the cylinders, which might not have been happening as effectively on mine as I've just said. But that oil sits in these grooves. It sits in there and it lubricates everything. Now, if you don't have them honing lines, you don't have lubrication, nor do you have good compression as a result. There needs to be something for the rings to bite onto, because these crosshatch lines, they're peaks and they're valleys, they're ups and they're downs, okay? And the oil goes into the down spots, and the peaks are what the piston rings ride on, okay? When it's all flat and there's no honing marks, luckily we have got some in this already, you don't have very good compression, nor oil retention properties and oil burning. That could also be a result. Worn engines. When people say your engine's worn, what they mean is your bore is worn. It's either glazed up. Now, when I say glazed, we've got the homing marks in these cylinders, but they're glazy, they're shiny. Look at that, you can see a nice reflection there. But look at this one, it's matte because I've just honed it. That's what it's supposed to look like, matte, not shiny. People think shiny cylinders are, oh yeah, we can fit the pistons back in. You're joking. These people don't know anything. You've got to make it matte. Now, the lines, I'm just going to try and show you here as best as I can. Now, the lines that I've done, by the way, this dark line here, this is a dark line at the top. Now, this indicates a low spot. You can take that out, and I'm going to try and take that out as much as possible. It doesn't matter, though, because that dark line generally is where the piston rings travel to the max on the top of the cylinder. This bit above the dark line, okay, in fact, I've just taken out, I can feel a fraction of a ridge. I might need to go a little bit more just to even it out. But we're not trying to even it out too much, okay? You will always get a little bit of a high spot at the top of the cylinder where the piston rings don't come in, and down there where the piston rings don't travel down far enough. Obviously, they don't travel all the way down. The piston travels somewhere between where that line is and about 2/3 of the way down the cylinder, okay? It's really important. Now, a lot of people will say to do this job properly, you need to take it to a machine shop. I absolutely agree with you on that one. If you're interested in performance, this is not a performance car. This is just an ordinary 1.4 gear, 1.4 Fiesta, okay? And this car, despite all the things that I have noticed by doing this work, it drove fine. It had plenty of performance. So think of how much I'm going to get once I've done this job, because that is only going to improve matters. Now, I will tell you, those lines, they are not 45 degrees. You cannot achieve 45 degrees with these homing tools, okay? You'd be lucky, from what I can see, 20 degrees. We're getting a like fractions of that. I'm trying to sort of point using my fingers here, but if I just get one finger, it's kind of like that. It should be like that. That's what these cylinders look like. It should be like that, but I'm getting a bit of that. That is what these tools produce. They never can get you the sort of cross-hatching from a professional home, but it means that I am going to get some decent small performance gains, but it's not going to be a performance engine. I'm not getting 150 PS compression out of each of these cylinders. That's not going to happen. The only way that's going to happen is if I took it to a machine shop. That's a block-off job, and that's a blooming faff. Then I've got to call my mate for his engine crane. I will do it if I had to. If there was war to the bores and I had to do something, then fine. But there's nowhere. There's hardly anything. They're just glazed up with oil. Okay, they're shiny, which means that there's no real, the homing marks aren't having as much of an effect. That's what happens over time. Piston rings wear in the cylinders, and they cause the cylinders to go from that to that. It's as simple as that. So that's as far as I go with DIY homing. I can just quickly show you what to do. It won't be very quick because I need two hands. You need to clean the cylinder with carb cleaner, clean it out. We don't want any crap in there. Then you need to protect the crankshaft. Now, the way of doing this is usually the crankshaft is removed, but I've protected the crankshaft, and I've got to move that protective film across to the next cylinder, and then I can show you. But basically, you're going to need some sort of lubricating oil, engine oil, WD-40. This is what I've been told to use by an engine builder. WD-40, and it keeps the stones, these gritting stones, okay, it keeps them from getting hot, and it keeps the cylinder clean of swarf and crap that they're cleaning off, okay? These are medium gritted. You can get these, I think this is a US Pro one. They do a decent job and a good enough job for what I need it for. It's as simple as that. You'll work off your drill, no problems. Just keep your drill on a slow speed setting. Now this is an adjustable spring. Now if I wind this all the way down, it will be much easier for me to push these in. So basically, this spring, the tighter you go that way, the more force they put on the cylinder. Now I try and have it tight, but not overly tight. I'm halfway. I was a bit sort of, I'm learning this myself, so I was a bit suspicious about going too hard on that one. So I've set it at around 50-60%, slow speed, literally in WD-40 on the swans, in a couple of times, 5, 6, 7, 8, at not too fast, not too slow. That's generally, some people say go slow, some people say go fast. No, just try and control your speed. Put WD-40 on, lots of WD-40 to keep everything nice and supple, clear the crap, keep the stones from getting hot. We don't want any scoring damage because that can easily happen. And that one has come out nice, because if you see here, apart from the high spot right at the top where I would expect it to be, because that's where the wear would normally wouldn't take place, I should say. That is really good. It's even. It's nice and even. There's no high and low spots. If you've got dark spots like this line down here or in patches, that's a low spot, so you need to continually go another round and get that high spot, that low spot a little bit even. That's what you're aiming for. You don't use anything other than these are the best ones to use if you're doing this at home. It's as simple as that. So this will prepare the cylinders and the piston rings to be repositioned in this engine. It's as simple as that. So without further ado, I'll give you a quick demo. a quick one. Right, my sandwich bag is in place over that part of the crank. Just about. Okay, and what we do now, bit of carb cleaner, just to get rid of anything that might be remaining in here. We want everything gone. Okay, I must stipulate that really, I mean, look at that. That's actually really rubbish. There's a lot of rubbish in here, actually. I have to get some more tissue. Clean. Really important. Ugh, I have to get another one. There we go. Lovely. Oh, hardly anything. Fantastic. Lovely. That's when you know you're in position. Just going to have a little look again. Yeah. Okay. Not a problem. Okay. Right. So, WD-40 is required. Just want to line that cylinder with WD-40 as the lubricating fluid. It's honestly a really cheap way of doing this, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the stones as well. I'm not going to put tons on. Right. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Now the stones will just self-center. Okay, slow speed, medium speed for a few minutes. Well, I say for about 10 seconds ago, go. The fluid. Okay, now did you see that I slowed down a little bit there towards the end? That was just to make sure that you slow down in a controlled way. Okay, that's looking excellent. That was about 10 seconds, but I'll do another one. I just want to bring you in here. Okay, right, we seem to have, again, a bit of a high spot at the top here. I'll just bring you in. See the difference? Glazed, shiny, not shiny. And I think that's gone very well, actually. Just again, a bit here at the top, but it's even. Yeah, that's really good. There is the minutest of scratches just down here where my finger is. Just there. I'm going to have to take that out because this will go down a certain level. And once again, yeah, my 15-20 degree, you could call it scratches. They're cross hatches, scratches. Yeah, a 15-20 degrees. But yeah, the crankshaft is fully protected. I will blow all this out towards the end, but the difference is night and day. Shiny, not shiny. And that really, I'm going to go over again with that, but I'm going to leave you be. That's how to do a DIY home. This is why those sort of things that I've got to show you just what I'm doing. It's not, a professional job, and it's not going to get you gazillion of horsepowers, but it's going to get you, well, it's going to get me, an engine that works. Hopefully it doesn't burn any oil, a bit more power. The pistons are happy, the rings are happy, and the engine's happy, and I'm happy. That's all it is. You've got to kind of do things on the basis of, well, where do you aim to take it? It's not an RS turbo, it's not an XR2i. Would I say that they are more appropriate? Yeah, but I'd still say there are probably lots of XR2 owners who would probably do something like this. And RS turbo owners, if you want to get maximum performance out of an RS turbo, then you would obviously do that. simple as. But anyway guys, I will leave this here. You take care. I shall see you in another update when more things have arrived and I'm starting to put things back and the head's had a skim, and I'll tell you what my machine shop said about the seats. Take care.